On this week's episode of Bayou Wild TV,
what we're doing today is we're down here in Florida, and every year in April is the start of a Pompano run. And all along the panhandle, you get this migration of Pompano that come into the beach. And it's the time of the year that you can catch Pompano year round in Florida. Hold him up, Don. There you go.
You can tell when one of these schools of Pompano makes a pass by, everybody gets excited. They start running towards the spot where the Pompano are going to pass and start throwing everything they got at them. It's kind of like a coordinated chaos. Double. Yeah, that's the one we're looking for. Pompano.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Global Outdoors. Find your next adventure and share your experiences with others by downloading the Global Outdoors mobile app or visiting globaloutdoors.com. Every day, we strive to preserve traditions that have spanned generations.
Around every turn of the bayou, Mother Nature reveals unique people, places, and experiences.
And the bounty of animals and fish. Well, in Louisiana, we just call that lagniappe. I'm Don Dubuque.
I'm Chris LeCoq.
I'm Captain Martha Spencer. Join us as we document the adventure,
Sportsmanship,
and heritage that make us Bayou Wild.
join us as we travel to the western end of the Florida Panhandle, among its white sandy beaches and bright blue water known as the Emerald Coast. This area of the Northern Gulf is a common destination for vacationers, but in true Bayou Wild fashion, we're here for the fishing. Here in Navarre Beach, you'll find the longest fishing pier in Florida, which attracts locals, tourists, and a variety of fish species. You never know what you might see reeled up over the side of this pier.
Usually, you come out here, you get a spot on the pier, and you just stick with it. If you're not happy with that, you can move down to another area. But you got to put your time in. Pier fishing, you got to let the fish come to you. It's not like boat fishing where you can go find the fish. You come out here, you stake your spot on the pier, and you fish, and whatever nature gives you, that's what you got for the day.
But today, we're looking to take advantage of a late spring run of Pompano.
You can catch Pompano here year-round, but the peak time is from the end of March all the way until towards the end of May, and April is the peak time to catch Pompano here.
Sign up today for the CCA Louisiana Star Tournament. You can fish inshore or offshore, from the bank or a boat, for a chance to win a truck, a boat, tackle packages, and more. Male or female, young or old, the Star has a division for you. Your registration also helps CCA continue its work to rebuild critical fish habitat along our coast for all to enjoy. Don't go fishing this summer without your Star ticket. Go to ccastar.com to sign up today.
One of the reasons why Double D has been around for 50 years is because we are consistent with what built the business. And we go to great lengths to make sure that when you bring a deer or a hog or whatever it may be, your meat stays your meat all the way through the process. But we want to be as true to the original intent, which is a local meat company. And that's something that we want to maintain for as long as the Lord lets us do it.
Delta Marina is Plaquemines Parish fishing one-stop. Get live bait, fuel, ice, tackle, and marine supplies. Then launch into the world's most productive saltwater fishing. Return to the fishing cleaning station, relax in first-class cabins overlooking the bayou, all in Delta Marina's safety video-monitored parking lot. Need a fishing charter guide? Delta Marina can hook you up. Cook your catch in your kitchenette or dine in the upstairs restaurant. Visit Delta Marina for a day or a week. Stop in just off Highway 11 down Rosemary Drive in Empire. Visit thedeltamarina.com.
Become a supporter of the Louisiana Wildlife Agents Association today by visiting supportlwaa.org. Browse the selection of exclusive gear, including t-shirts in a variety of colors and styles, plus hats, koozies, and more. Gear up today and support the LWAA.
All right, today we're here at Navarre Beach Fishing Pier, and it's interesting to check out the difference in pier fishing and not only here in Florida versus Louisiana, but pier fishing versus boat fishing. You get to observe the crowd, the difference in the contrast and the type of fishermen that you meet out of here. Some of these people are tourists, they're rookies, they have no idea. And you've got others that have spent their whole lives growing up on these piers and studying it to become successful fishing. It's a lot of fun, and it's open to the public. And there's some good times to do it, and we got some good tips from a guy who really knows his stuff when it comes to pier fishing along the Gulf Coast. What we're doing today is we're down here in Florida, and every year in April is the start of a Pompano run. And all along the panhandle, you get this migration of Pompano that come into the beach. And it's the time of the year that you can catch Pompano year round in Florida. But mainly in April is when these fish school up and move down the beach, and you can come out here and you can catch limits of Pompano. The limit of Pompano in Florida is 6 per person, and they gotta be over 11 inches long on the inside fork. And what we're doing today is we're fishing from a pier. There's 6 piers that you can fish these Pompano from. There's 2 in Panama City. There's 1 in Fort Walton Beach. There's 1 here in Navarre. There's another one in Pensacola, and there's 1 in Alabama. And all of these piers you could catch these Pompano from that we're gonna be catching today. Thing about fishing out here on these piers is you meet people, and you learn different techniques. And one of the techniques that I learned was with these wacky jigs. That's what I call them, wacky jigs. Is a fly and a jig, and you rig them up where this fly will bounce up and down above the jig. And usually you could tip this with a piece of shrimp or a piece of fish bite or a sand flea. And when these Pompano are running, it's very effective. It's like having a piece of candy on their form, and then they'll eat it up. So that's our jig of choice for today. Also, this time of the year, you have cobia running. And the cobia have pretty much been caught out. Over the years, they've been overfished. But it's still a possibility to see a big fish come into the pier, and you'll see a lot of people, you know, fishing with these big cobia jigs on the rods, and that's what's going on. And also you can get Spanish mackerel, sheephead, drum. Um, there's several other species that you can catch off these piers, redfish. So hopefully we'll see some action today and see what happens. So
It gives you the advantage of both inshore and offshore fishing.
Yeah.
They were getting on.
this is what's so unique about this type of fishing here in Florida is that in Louisiana, you got to pretty much go out in a boat to catch pompano or cobia or king mackerel or Spanish mackerel. And here in the Panhandle, you could catch them right off these piers, and that's what makes it a lot of fun.
Let's see if we can catch a few.
All right, let's do it.
You can tell when one of these schools of pompano makes a pass by, everybody gets excited. They start running towards the spot where the pompano are going to pass and start throwing everything they got at them. It's kind of like a coordinated chaos. And hopefully if you get in there quick and you get it down before the school disappears, you can work on getting some of those beautiful fish, and they're good tasting fish in. You got to pick on them.
Florida pompano on Navarre Pier. And we got, I had mentioned earlier, 95% of the time they're going to eat the fly. I hit that tip with a little piece of sand flea, a fish bite, or a little piece of shrimp. And that's what we nailed. I saw that school coming, and nice fish.
A lot of places along the Gulf Coast, you're fishing in dingy, murky, sediment-laden water, and it's kind of blind casting and hoping that the fish are there. You can do some sight fishing by movement, but here in Florida, the water is so clear under most conditions, you can not only spot the fish, but you can also identify the species.
Double.
What's that net, lady?
Oh, she walked down the pier, I'll grab you net.
Coming down.
Go over. Go over.
Pull him up, Don. There you go. I don't really target whiting too much down here, but a lot of people do. And some of the fish that we saw today were probably some of the biggest whiting that I've seen caught off of this pier since I've been coming out here. The Alabama Pier, I've seen, and I have caught real nice fish. We saw fish caught up, I say up to 1.5 pounds, maybe pushing 2 pounds today. Really nice whiting, and which are very good fish to eat. And if you come out here and target those fish and catch you a mess of them, you got you a good meal. Trout poles, you know, like us from Louisiana, trout poles with redfish poles. 12-pound test is all you need. You want something that you can make a good long cast with. Braided line's good also. You're using these local wacky jigs and regular pompano jigs, little bucktails. Tip them with a sand flea when you can get your sand fleas. If not, shrimp or fish bites will work just as good. You know, we got these landing nets that we use. They come in handy for when you're hooking. I land every one of my pompano with a landing net. You can land your Spanish, even a small cobia can be landed with these landing nets, and you can pick them up at the local sporting goods. Most of the local sporting goods have them, and I think it's an essential piece of equipment when you're fishing pompano out here. The fishing was kind of slow today, unfortunately. We had beautiful weather. The water's great, the conditions were great. We saw a few fish, and we did get a few fish to bite, but on the most part, it was a slow day.
Pompano fishing in the panhandle of Florida. Double pompano. Well, Bayou Wild going on here down here on the Cajun invasion to Navarre Beach.
In Louisiana, food brings everyone together. These are the flavors that make friends out of total strangers. The flavors that remind you of home. It's the meals you crave, that take time, that show love. Because in Louisiana, we cook. And we know that when we come together to cook and eat, life gets better. So pull up a chair, leave room for seconds, and pass a good time. Because life needs Louisiana flavor, baby.
Sign up today for the CCA Louisiana Star Tournament. You can fish inshore or offshore from the bank or a boat for a chance to win a truck, a boat, tackle packages, and more. Male or female, young or old, the Star has a division for you. Your registration also helps CCA continue its work to rebuild critical fish habitat along our coast for all to enjoy. Don't go fishing this summer without your Star ticket. Go to ccastar.com to sign up today.
Hi, I'm Olivia Grace George, Miss Louisiana 2024. Did you know that Louisiana is one of the world's leading producers of propane gas? Of course, it's used for cooking, cleaning clothes, and heating homes, but it's always been used on farms and businesses across our state, as well as school buses and light-duty trucks. As America looks to cleaner, greener alternative fuels for our future, Louisiana's propane dealers stand ready to meet the need. For more information, visit louisianapropane.com.
All right, my name's Chris Weaver, and if you're watching this, you probably watched Bayou Wild show where we went down to Florida and caught some beautiful pompano off the Navarre Pier. And I'm just here today showing you my technique on how to cook these fish. There's a lot of different ways that you can cook pompano, cook fish, but this is one of my favorite. And this is not just for pompano. This could be used to cook all different types of fish, whether it be flounder or trout or redfish, whatever you would prefer. It's very easy, and it comes out very good. This is one of the pompano that we caught on that trip to Navarre, and the reason why I want to show this is because I like to cook the whole fish. And there's a lot of parts of this fish that most people would throw away, which would be the head and the throat and the belly. And that is some of the best eating part of this fish. Now, to go ahead and prepare it, well, before we get there, to clean that, what I usually do is I just cut off right behind the eyeballs. I'll put the knife underneath the gill plate and cut the gill plate out. And then there's a bony knot right here, and I'll put the knife and I'll do a circular motion, cut that bony knot out. I gut the fish, and I cut the tail off. Pompano have very fine scales, and the skin on the pompano is very good to eat, so you don't want to get rid of that either. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and lay that down. I put 2 slices in my fish. And I'm going to go ahead and fill that with some butter. Today I'm using garlic butter, so I'm using something a little bit richer. I put a tab inside the cavity. And I put a tab of butter in each one of the slices that I put into the fish. Okay, so we're going to just put a little salt and pepper. Now I'm gonna create a tent. A lot of these restaurants that you go to serve pompano. They'll serve it in a bag or some kind of paper. They'll make a tent. And basically these fish are steamed. They're steaming these fish. That's what I'm doing here. Creating a little tent. And the last thing I do is I'm going to put a little water in there. Just a little bit. Because I don't want to burn this fish. I put a little water. And that's going to help him steam. And that's it. Now we're ready for the grill. We're going to take it outside, go ahead and put that on the grill, and we'll be eating pompano before you know it. You're looking at about 25 to 30 minutes for a small fish, pound-and-a-half fish, pound to a pound and a half. Bigger fish, you're looking at about 40, 45 minutes. If you're doing a 2.5 to 3 pound fish, you want to compensate for that time a little bit more for that fish to cook a little bit more. And don't forget to put the water in there with it. All right, so we just got these off the grill. Open up the tent. There we go. You can see how those cracks have busted open. And we got some nice buttery juice in there to dip our fish into while we're eating. And we're going to make a little pocket up here at the top where we can put some stir fry. We used to do this in the parking lot right there by the hotel. We came back and bought a barbecue pit down there with us one time. And came back and I cleaned some fresh pompano, and you talk about fantastic. Whether you're in Louisiana, Texas, Florida, Alabama, all these fish are very common to these areas. Somebody even gives you pompano, now you know how to cook it. Very easy.
We love our children. We protect them. We guide them. We prepare them for life in the world. With all that we do, from deep in our hearts, we cannot control all things. Life-threatening illnesses and disabilities affect far too many of our children each year. While we cannot change the circumstance, we can make dreams come true. Dreams to provide hope, to provide spiritual healing and strength, to provide moments of happiness and relief in the hardest of times. We can give a glimmer of light and hope in a time of darkness and despair. Join huntofalifetime.org to help make dreams come true, to provide hope for children with life-threatening illnesses and disabilities. Hunt of a Lifetime is a nonprofit organization fulfilling dreams for hunting and fishing trips to youth 21 and under with life-threatening illnesses and disabilities. Visit huntofalifetime.org to learn how you can make a difference.
If you're lucky enough to bag a deer or a hog this season, bring it here to Double D. Double D processes hogs and exotic game and guarantees your product is always the meat you brought to Double D.
Double D Meats in Bogalusa, home of country smoked, spicy jalapeno cheddar, and other customized flavors.
Bring your deer or your hog here to Double D, where you always get your meat back in return. It's worth a drive to Bogalusa from anywhere. Double D.
Become a supporter of the Louisiana Wildlife Agents Association today by visiting supportlwaa.org. Browse the selection of exclusive gear, including t-shirts in a variety of colors and styles, plus hats, koozies, and more. Gear up today and support the LWAA. There's something sacred about pier fishing. The balance of simplicity and technique is hard to describe. What sometimes seems like hours with no bites quickly turns to chaos when someone yells, "Fish on!" Then it becomes a choreographed dance in an attempt to land the fish without getting lines tangled. As the day progresses, the bites come and go. A few more fish are added to the cooler and share conversations with our fellow anglers about favorite rigs, lucky lures, and the one that got away.
A lot of people escape the cold weather and they'll come down here to Florida for breaks and vacations and business conferences. And believe it or not, a lot of times, a lot of people do associate Florida with fishing, but a lot of people really don't. They don't really come prepared. So take a tip if you're going to be visiting Florida, check out ahead of time what you might need in terms of gear. Get ready so when you come down here, you can have an added day or two to your vacation and do some very enjoyable fishing.
The best thing to do is come out here and watch and see what the locals are doing and watch how they fish. And that's the best teacher you can do. Ask questions, go to the local tackle store, buy your tackle, and come back out in here and give it a shot.
The beach below becomes more crowded as the day evolves. Just another sunny day on Florida's Emerald Coast. Visiting Navarre isn't just about the sand or the waves or the catch. It's learning about another angler's outdoor paradise, which adds to the adventure, sportsmanship, and heritage of Bayou Wild.